abusama me wa kwa bam from like black media abusa ya Titi okra to Japan na abusa expose ya Titi okra dan de no in fact ano den papa when say na ado dan kwa akufuado ma me Frema Opare ene chametwibo asia ko Wontumi emrekuduka sankrofo 9 we say nyina Galamsey no mama mu na ye kase oyom muntu Galamsey asi o muntu asi o na ado dan kwa akufuado ye ye tu Galamsey asi ye poso ye boy homode ni nyina abusia according to ya Titi okra no ensem a wodi tu dwa no in fact eni enyan na no de papa bo ne ensem a wo ka eni say ma me Frema Opare table so ana na do dan kwa akufuado emrekuduka afei chametwibo asia ko Wontumi ene MPP fo no bi ekotena ma me Frema Opare table so na ne o ma chesika no ewo ma me Frema Opare table so na eno ana wo kire mu akase wasra new IGP Christian no hunu Christian tete no hunu say baby biada sankrofo we say wo momodin so be kwa hwehwe wo mu na wapo mo kira kwan na afi won fo mo nko no office enko busebuso mo nsem bi efa Galamsey ani sika bi a omo agye afiri Galamsey yes ne China fo ne ho abusan yo mo nko ahun unim se former IGP ye friend say Dampare ono so penso no what team bi friend say operation stop Galamsey ene ono so timi to boys ekokogum na no mo be ko no mo no yetimi chi nkrofo Dampare se ma chi nkrofo be chi wo mu no ye hunu ba bi a asem yi be kwa akosi na afesi ye de wo magum o si aye de ono ano epeja gidigidi within a short time na afi eto ajo ana ya Titi okra abuja what to ja wo hu say if cramp no IGP former IGP Dampare I was say a new current IGP Christian tete abomode so no so cramp be frɛ no atoto na no e won nsem bi hu e fa Galamsey won na abuja ensem a waka ani ja wato no eni enyan na no den kam hwan ye kwadi nkyirimu ni afoforo bi oka ye emrasisi ye abuja baby a wo hwe me bia wo haw ne amane kwadan na bia da eda wo so bia no bomode se onimi bedi nkomo ye de samna nwanwaso bi aba e frɛ ne se eye sika kokko na gold samna wo haw bia da eda wo so bia wo hia sa samna we se bi afi wo ye bema wo hwe me wo bema sam wo kom wo bema ye ketwa rabaji bula matali eduro bi na wo bema enye kese watimi abo adwuma so ache e wo empem ye de akwankyere bi aba abuja no ye hwehwe wo hyebrem a ye frɛ ne se mpelifo akwankyere ana se wo betima frɛ back to sender onipa bi ha onipa bi tata wato bet e wo ho se wo se ne tibi obeku bomode so be fa numbers ne go screen ase na woni mi akasa me hwehwe wo hyebrem mu hwi a na bomode se me kyerɛ wo ne wo beye wa kwa kasa na se mo kae no nkrofo sha se so mo discuss but me we interest wa se mo a honorable muntaka kae ne mu and I'm expecting IGP Christian Tete Yohunu to act on it as soon as possible. Anybody ye no kwa so twen. All the police commanders of Galamsey arrest ni nyina transfer bia. When enu kwa saka ma muntaka kra beka. IGP who take over no debi nenu kwasa wo twema interior minister kra ma sa order no e was ka wo start transfer no dia wo start wo headquarters in dia normal enu dia nim se be badada ba dia na me wi animu ye police commanders no ma ya magagea e wo Galamsey areas no omo na nka me hwa animu se but wunim se IGP ade am pesa o ye nie sa Galamsey areas no eni kwasa police commander bia akokwa nkodi 6 months okwa wacha 6 months transfer pa no okọ na fofra ba pa no okọ enye commander no kwa o wa mo crime officers no name constable police officers no mo ho na wa transfer commander na the following man no transfer officers no mo ho ni nyina na the fofra kogu wa ma cha 3 months 6 months no transfer mo hwe Galamsey ade na eda ho no enye nkura ntokwa o ya problem ama Galamsey ne yentimi ntuase. Number 1 aya political will. Number 2 aya security for na mu akasa wo so mo boa ya ma Galamsey ne ya chim krofo no aya number 2. Number 3 aya ahemfo na asase no aya wo mo dia no wo mo so ka ho yentimi nkan yi ahemfo ni firim
because ebi wa kwa abekọ no na ohene bi wo ho a no ankasa no aye na adwen so peso tu Galamsey wo asase no so no akọfa nkọfo aba no mu tu etienti mi nkan yi ahimfumfirim there's a community mi refi community yi din oh e wa senkegwa wo ko wono ma me kwa me ne ohene no kodi nkomo na me se anana me ba ye wonsa ase nyina koku ayeso mma na we se de koku na brepa me kwa ho October nim campaign time no me kwa ho October na we se de na koku na bre na bisa nana ne se nana na wo area mu ha de koku nko ano se me Galamsey omo akasa nim se krom ha kra no omo ba enye yi omo ba da omo ba omo so omo ba V8 ba kokwa de ba so omo ba V8 4 me se menye eti wudru nana de krom ho no ma ni nsuo kra da ho no mary esa video no na ma ba bo a kire mo Monday nsuo da ho no me amedru ya me se bi num ye nsuo na na da ho ani kroji ana me se wei nana nsuo ya masa bia num nsa bra wo na ja ho no ma ba chase ya hono ozo o ende no kra ya hono ono what dia to me se kokoo no no ba ma ne manfo na dua wo area mu ho ara ho sam se kwan kura na kuronim enti yeduru ho no yesi ye ne nante ye e ka kwan na ho yesi ye ne nante ye na ensu ye da ho no ma wo se wutwa no bra sister ye di nnua bi na abia so na ensuo to na se ensuo ne ya ma etime hohuru nnua ni nyina kogu fam na se opemfo o se there was a time na oba pemfo na wasi ade ni tu bia so simeti nya abotre enti most of times Galamsey kun na ye kun wa Ghana ha no hwe enye nkura ntoko enye nkwala ntokwa entokwa na da ho no walai enye nkwala ntokwa hwe enye ntokwa eso enti police commanders no mo Galamsey area sini nyina IGP as soon as possible transfer wo you know why commanders no any one ya Galamsey no ebi mu ya one in fact omo da omo payroll so a chesa every day bia no omo musika there was a report to be ya from Western Regional police for anu omo ho no omo nya da sori adopa na chesa omo ko site na omo kwaji 20,000 wo Galamsey for no omo ko adwuma omo sori omo ya no it is our police ni ade na men ka kire IGP on transfer no enti ka de papa mu a sa adwuma na police for no binom ebuama Galamsey ne yentimi ntu ase no police ni no kwa area ho a wacha 3 months wo na say wontimi ma impact bi ama transfer no simple why can you kwa so twema muntaka kwa be kasa asem wo ye ko so what transfer obia police for the binom ya part of your problem. And you see, adia ba kwa mama ni agi anopa ni say na Dampare wo prayen wonim de tia na mso wo prayen information as I say police for timi de ba no information ni bebre ho no bebre headquarters ane yente because asam na esi wo bunkurugu yoyo a enya Dampare office ene e be issue statement a enya reporter bi na awo no ho no de nani ko twa wisi ane uni santamu e be kwa hu bi no wati hu de akyerew ene kwa wati hu de kyerewa ontimi nkansi su dua because police commander na ho no aka cha ne se Dampare se mane nkasa ontimi man information dua de nani be hu no e no be ka et information no do na be do headquarters a empia bonten one Galamsey for na ya sha se aye chi wo mo no ada na se Dampare tam ne ye hye da hu ne sa ya chi wo mo kwa wo hu ba bia be kwa akosi so this time around sa Galamsey for na Western Regional Police Command wo ma kwa chi wo mo e wo bonsansuo no mo takwa no we want to see the end of the story e was here we see ya do ma kwa court ya prosecute wo mo hwe obia no ya against mining nobody me I'm not against mining but ya me kra chiri a chasa wo ya nipa ba wo ya wine na sa me hu sa wo ya Galamsey a wo ya me tamfo number 1 Galamsey de wo ya me tamfo sa wo ko bonsansuo no mu a o ma blocking nsuo na me ka cha wo no aso o ma blocking nsuo ne kwan no na hwe nsuo nyame abo a nsuo no ewo ne kwan a etene ko na nipa da sa ne se de me pese me die enti no wa blocking nsuo ne kwan ne wa tuwa me na wo soro na wa divert ensuo ni bi de akwato aminanim se be ya wo no betimi de ahohuru ni gold enti mercury ne cyanide na wodi gu ho no ba bia wa divert ensuo ne kwan na kwakogu no was ahohuru mercury ne cyanide no de ahohuru ni gold no wi a no wa sa divert na ade na tene na sa kogu ensuo na mu na tene ko sa ensuo kra na Ghana water for be so ne so na mo de alo matuma brew e wo fie ho bio pipe ase oh Ghana water na ya bie pipe poison ana wo nom no poison enti me nsuro meka cho sa Ghana water for nsuo amode man na poison won ti ase a dia abaye Ghana water for kra na kasa nim se nsuo na amode man na poison ana nya omfum so o eya menu mi anu ayaya mi aya no ya adwen such as asemi o we me party ni panti me nka no eno na de yadu ba bia yadri ya because enya Ghana water for na de seton so ma efiadudu adi. There's no chemical betimi de ayi afrim enti de o metimi aya na so o de anom beto nsuo num na ani aye fita na aba ufie wadwe o sa wo wanya nsu papa bi a wonom eya poison to the extent they say Ghana water for treatment plant and one year teche not just a woman to treating you should know the level where we have reached as a mind. Says President Mahama show yes our political will to fight Galamsey. Dia cannot air security for no ambe boye no. Security for no mo sori anopa omukọ jisika wo Galamsey site no. Wo mo ni your problem. Now, some video where I Smith for video network. Some video where 2 years ago video, but my share them person me the car sem chiro. Police for our money Galamsey for a meeting. Police for money Galamsey for etu party edidi bom. Galamsey for police for them more information more tip off. And then nkwafo bo. So, what's your video ni mu kasa? Says the police ni no ama sort no ama manisikanti eni kwanse nka wo ba omo chi kwan kra pie na we police officer wo bu nkotodwe e wo civilian wo ya criminal activity anim na all patchawa. It should tell you the level of security people aya no mo Ghana ha we nipa no the cyanide mercury or the metal and near match as a betting yama menu me anu yawuo and what ye adwuma police ni na kwakwa sika protect wo eti akwaya na ne bra waka sei onu mom e no ma police ni information man sika a wagina sa Galamsey for na mu a che so on ye middle person between Galamsey for no any police ni no he sa video we 2 years ago video me de case asam what ya say Galamsey ko no I just say wunya political will and yes I want to me fight da enti me na me ka kire NDC for no ma sha say o mo person mo ya Galamsey ni bi say me I just am to di me bodi yay because on abu amakofi bu anani abre wase munya information mo ka kire me say NDC ni bi ya Galamsey mo mama de mo mbo ni din kire me minim dia meye no waye bi nso me hu evaluate adwamoro dwura de akwaso ho no aso ye din no so wunim de nti aso ye din chamai wo de matufo se wantie se we yakasa kiro so wajai wantie na asa kwabio mesa bebodi se me ka kire regional chairman or Western region NDC regional chairman our Western region say ya ma ho kwa ma ngu president Mahama ni masi tuwofo NDC for na mo atakwa no mutumu hofo na anu ma wonsa mani abre na mo ya press conference mutumu hofo mo chairman de onka ho takwa kwasi so si chairman no onka ho ena wasi regional minister so asam no onka ho badiama omo ehwuwam ni sa asam no omunim said ya kwaso ni edi pass machine na ye involve ba ye ntimi nka adenti ni ntimi nka because a party chairman won sa kwasi asam se na metia na mbuafuo no obi ya party chairman ye ma ne ho kwan ye ntia se no sensuo nse asase because a party chairman maybe they no dey fa me fichiro o me bodi me kama gya chiro ekwan bia so ye ma police fa chew wo kwa radio ma ye bonsansuo e watakwa wo rebe ho and enye no kwa ensu atwa ye won hye wo Ghana ha bia ensu na sei asase na sei ye tiase forest mu ye bubu miatu agu ye funtum asase na ni afra because eni pakuo kakra bi pesika kwa akodi ni ate Ghana ha ne ye so san kwase asem no so aniti IGP Christian Tatayo hunu say ya no agreement as mo yi video ni free so ya no agreement transfer police commander sini nyina ade ba kwa waya mani agye hoamenim se adwuma no betimi aye enya information say wa ma ho kwan a eto ho na police for na kama Ghana for atinti wei o mutimi fa hwinsie na anu amokwache enkofo no mo bonsa nso no otakwa no police commander no any choice I was o kirem so akoda ho Ghana enti won't me fancy yes na Africa cho obi akwaji sikada bi asam no boada na friend so operations commander no you in charge of operations our western region no akwa no me feeling rough. These are some of the people, some of the officers are omuko baby a wo mo ye adwuma ebo man I say ni aka bi ma me de beka ho honorable bro judge and fini Dr. Manebo ama mo de mo ye army defense dia mo be ya ma ye ni soldier fo na wo mo ko boa police fo no ema wo mo so ekwahwe Galamsey site no mo sesa wo mo because wo mo so ye problem soldier fo no o mo ye problem pa o mo ko site a o mo ni police fo no nyina na kabom ebinom eti ne papa mu a sa operation Galam stop na ekufo no te ya ne asoja fo no do omugu mu no e wose nka ba na akwa ya bi so no bebu akonta kire yen wonim say ukọ prisia time anana do kwa ekufo do ka say wo mo NCZ all excavators ne akeka ka ho no operation Galam stop fo ne asoja fo no mo ko ye no hwe enya excavator fo kwa no mo ko hyehe yo ena nya nkrofo no omukwaje nkrofo gold omu bo shop mu anu masisa gold no mo de ko omu hwa ko prisia na ko bisa I was there ye shop mu ani asisa gold ni de ko ye misa sa soja fo no mo ko ye sa operation ni say gold no mo ko sisa ye no gold ne wen ye gold no e wen so amu de brand na do da ko Akufo-Addo as the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces then gold no wen so amode bra soldier from panyufo asoma wa mu a me pacho gold no wen besinne gold operation no amkoye wa prisia a wa mo gigi nkofo gold free wa mo shop mu sister binum sika ka ho no besinne yenim akira kwan enti a soldier for no kwa ye soma mo no ebi mu kwa ye criminal chain Galamsey for no so mo wura mu ho no a o mu di bone no enti o mu nya kwadu a na twese ya ka bam. There was a police officer in Ashanti region. Edu baby na asana sam kra ya memobo otimi kodu site oya so obey arrest na order from above call na aba munja omo no maja omo. That was where na ye kase na na Danko Akufo-Addo no ye direct beneficiary of Galamsey because no any political will back say enema akwa so na wo site no kra say ye te se ne che wo Frema Opare table so ontimi deny ye besi nne ni papa mu obi a wa chief of staff na asem kase say yaka wontimi deny na etiade na chesa nya no kore se Galamsey concession site no ye che wo chief of staff office Frema Opare Professor Frema Opare ne report no sa wo to boda wo kanya enu na ba mu ate asese na na do Danko Akufo-Addo no ye direct beneficiary of Galamsey eti there's no one na ko betime to Galamsey ase. That's the reason why I make her say obi a why na agent so betwitwa President Mahama na mu because wono wakam yati asese Galamsey no person to ase wa me yan so our will no so our will ne dia ya pese yan wonu ne say so obi ya NDC ni mpo ni ya chine say wo ya Galamsey a e was mra ne ye adwuma e was ye de tum e simple wo pesa wo ya mania obi ansi hu kwan go through the process. Get your license. Do proper mining. Mining companies are what Ghana has access to mining. Yende. Adena young kwa ya pesi ya dia huko jimu dia. Ya say ya sa since you. Adena before ya jene yasa. Kwa bibini kwa so de ne ho kwa kwasha man ni mu pe ya say baby amenya bia media excavator sim na every da bempo na ye sha ase Galamsey gather and sell eketenketi ane ye nananom ye ne ketenketi afede de chamfan excavator ne de aba besim directive na onobo amakofi bu ade abase wo ba baye wo be import excavator e wa so be kire de wo de excavator ne ba baye no enkofo bi na no mete se na kwa ai na dai obi be excavator na adan galasem kwa na ye de ye enti na no so wo so obi be declare wo nko declare enya wo import e simple wo nti ase tu wonti ase enti sa policy we ase a tu free Ghana mo na mo so be kotogo mo ti ere mumu na mo se mo president Mahama wini ambe kotogo eti mo te Ghana hade pa na moje mo bi no masani abre na onobu amabo directive na ade aba no chese mo nti ase agro wo mani so wate sa chamfa no ye ba ne because that's a big problem na wo kwanya ya kan say akufa the time this ya no say lembelo say ya kan say nzimo say oto chamfa this you know no ti area mu ho na wono in charge of dissect no ono mob the shop na operate no chamfan shop then you tell me say the power bet me stop Galamsey we are not serious oh enti Galamsey nkomo no ekwa na ba eto da metime dwia na meti pai me we damage pa ya koso o my way ya sika ya say ekufadu sika wa say in the name say me ku Galamsey enye sika ketwa ni nyina sa no mo bua ya lo wanu atwa ni wanu mo diska no no ma sa so soja fo na ko bu Ghana fo no no ma sa ji gold no ma sa de abro mo Jubilee House akromfo no mo say sika sa o kwa ka say we anti government ani atra say Galamsey no afifiri asoaba ama chese ye hu de yenye ni yini no aya kase enti adwuma de ayi onobo amabo so eso papa adwuma da interior minister so eso pa because omu nyom ka ho adwuma da defense so eso pa president Mahama kwa de adwuma da eso kase pa tele because the caliber of people awomudo omu ho hye Galamsey mo no it will take a political will to fight those people. Party financiers, party executives. And not just say, what would you want to adi anim? Eti anya me wan say do baby na afede akufado na adane PRO ama Wontumi mining company ne Galamsey company and onu mom na no wadane PRO and workers enti it will take a president awaya na adwen say odwe wo mine ho kane asan watimi atu Galamsey ase me say emrantia na omani abre na omwuram ho mo sensuo de eye edubone dine eye kan say cyanide ni mercury eye adwuma e wo nwuram ho no adena sa amrantia no yentimi fa wo mo se mo mra niam mu training proper training na ka ni papa mu a mining companies akasia no kra no yema wo mo tia mo nwase say these are young men a wo mo pa bibia ye sa ban ni nya opportunity betimi dia ma wo mo a yema wo mo training yenche wo mo mining companies no na yema wo mo proper training no betimi dia mining say you don't know the difference between small scale mining and Galamsey. There's no difference. And to be into small scale mining crano, you did not frag Galamsey for. It is a small scale adjumano ego. Amanina dani Galamsey. It's ya now ko site wa. So we ya small scale I wouldn't. So we are Galamsey I wouldn't because I didn't know munina eye baako. Meanwhile, your proper mining companies, or more small scale miners, or more Ghana for, or more proper mining. But say, who difference? Foot to flat. Community mining no crab buy na. You can't say me kudu kabo de buy no crab. And the bobo and the best say some no crab. Community mining no. Galamsey kwano mudi tu okroma. O ka. Sa amra na ye ka no. Na nkofo di yatem. Community mining and I any adwuma na enti any adwuma ya no me so me ni adwuma enti matam tu ato me kwa na me kobo kro no a eno no sense me so me were right because they mo ya no ni am robbers nyina ye pe mo prayen adio mo ye no eya ade a ya braba ya bo wo wiase nyina ene Ghana for wo ani ewu yare ani aduro yare a wote din a wotimi kwa traditional dem kwa wo hu ni meaning aden China for no mo ba krom han omunye nipa bonifo yani am o ma ye nipa bonifo because China ni bia ni ho anum a onim ye kan say atwuma forest China ni bia ni ho a onim nyina hi forest China ni bia ni ho a onim bonsa nsuo ba bieda yanya na yakofo mo ba na mo so ma dwumbone e wo mu trim no wo mo enya ye na ye manipulators ne kakra ka ho a na mo execute mo fa phone line into TV no so say Ghana for a person ye mine no aye problem because of a sabonia yan kasa ye twa to ho and ya say ya sas ya sensuo na police commanders ne de mesra Christian Tatayo IGP say watch kra watch nipa no transfer na wo de foforo kwa watch 3 months wo difference a transfer no because omusu ya problem amu kwa na ma tip off na ya say soldier for ne ba o na ya say police for no omo free nkran no omo ba o na mo ko Galamsey hwa me pa metimi aka Galamsey the whole year me mre you know why affect me no your life
this opportunity to greet the good people of Ghana, especially those from Bimbila and Wolense constituencies.
Okay.
Any Nipan or Moshe TV. Ablekumanov. Cecia Amoni MP.
Yeah.
The reason is that on say yekoto aba December no. Yeto aba ma nipa na epe. Enye numbers na
exactly.
So say omutu aba nipa no mbe kan krata no amuna electoral commission otiazi. Now if the electoral commission, instead of them to declare the rightful winner, no ma constituency no, now who say officers be your friend mo crooked electoral officers no mo ko ye omu dwin say omu ma nipa no motuma no ko parliament. This is where we are going to find ourselves. Sana eba Ablekumanov no because Ablekumanov mo declare ma Erwabna.
Okay.
Obin on no odin kunim.
Yeah.
On the 9th.
That was 9th December.
9th December.
Okay.
Now you see no see your company because about 62 polling stations but they didn't take their time to find out why the 62 polling stations were not added. Because we say yeah electoral laws no kind CI 127 na. We say polling stations be but omontimi kind because there was overvoting or there was some infringement.
Okay. Errors
be na so omontimi add says someone say 100 polling stations. Now about 2 of polling stations na overvoting and now errors be that has invalidated the process.
Okay.
Omontimi add 2 polling stations in declaring the results. In the frame. So instead of 100, they will declare the results using 98 polling stations.
Okay.
And it's legal.
It's legal.
They are legal.
Electoral Commission is aware.
It's aware. They know this.
So you're more lost.
So say Somoko to about now the returning officer. Not mean are these 62 polling stations. Yours is to investigate why the 62 polling stations were not added. But don't say because there were plenty polling stations who were not added, so therefore we are not going to declare the results. We won't accept the declaration made by the returning officer. Okay. And it doesn't lie in the mouth of electoral commissioners. Law no Emma returning officers no quite say omun declare parliamentary results. So omun declare we are so we go high court. Article 91 of our constitution, Emma high court no quite say omun you go by application. Your friend say election petition. Who say we are chasing another Dompre. This thing and through an application, election petition against the declaration made for him. You see, this is what the Ablekumanov MPP people should have done. But more yes, sir. On said the electoral commission mutina headquarters. Don't say declaration about 62 police stations. So yeah, and she say yes, recollation. But there's no recollation of electoral laws.
Okay.
So see, no. Once I see any use any regulation,
okay.
So these people just sat down and manufactured their own laws. That's why Blekumanov don't have an MP. They should have allowed Rabna to be declared as she was properly declared, sworn into parliament. Then MPP can now go to High Court with a petition.
Okay.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Then you can now battle it out in High Court.
Because I know you've done same with Okakwe Central, Akwetia.
Akwetia, any
Tema
Central.
Yeah.
Any Ashanti Region 3 Sukaun. Abuasi is.
Yeah.
Any Ahafano Southwest, any Ahafano North. We've went to High Court with a petition against the declaration and swearing in of those MPs.
Okay.
Sana Electoral Commission, they should have allowed Rabna to go to Parliament. The MPP can also go. Why is it that they don't want to declare that one? But rather, almost say, Omukofa Electoral Commission, Omni MPP. They are in concert to rig the election for the MPP parliamentary candidate. Because we say, your last IPAC meeting before we went to Supreme Court, no?
Yeah.
MPP almost say omun 62 pink sheets polling stations,
yeah.
Omun nibi. Electoral Commission almost so can't say omun. Na me wo meeting no. Almost nibi. Yes nibi because there was vandalism and a lot of distractions. Okay. So those 62 polling stations no ye nibi. Then MPP tina hosa no mo see omu was scan copies. Omu free. The question now may be some. That may be beside Evans. You say, no Evans. Who then how? Who say who scan copy everything? Scan copies. Mommy laptop. That means tonight. Me bet my design pink sheets, and concoct figures on it, and bring it as scan copies. Who penny? That's why electoral system is a manual system. Bring the pink sheet, physical one, and wouldn't be Electoral Commission nibi. So if we don't have it, the only option left is to, if you won't agree, let's go for rerun. Almost one company. Then they went to court through Mandemus. And they say, High Court don't force Electoral Commission. No more regulation. Let's say you call Supreme Court. Supreme Court these people went behind the scene to do some of the illegality for Tema Central and Okaikwi Central Tichmasaf, and quickly pass them through Gazette for them to be sworn in. Then we managed to stop them from Ablekwanov because they wanted to use the scan copies of MPP. To declare this MPP free. We prevented them. That is where we are now. But as I said, you're trying to call Supreme Court. You call Supreme.
Currently, was Supreme Court.
There was Supreme Court. Supreme Court. One say Electoral Commission for application biba.
Yeah.
Not Supreme Court. They were asking us that the Supreme Court should quash. This and we know we filed statutory for them to quash the decision of the High Court. Then the Electoral Commission came with a petition yesterday. So the Supreme Court ruled in our favor, giving us 7 days to respond to the Electoral Commission petition, application of and so we are in that process. So that matter is in court. Nobody can declare it until we are out of Supreme Court. Because we won't allow an illegality. Illegality be brave. Electoral Commission no 2024. If we hadn't put our eagle eyes, they would have made sure that an illegal president was elected with an illegal parliamentarians. Like we have about 7 of them illegal parliamentarians. We are chasing them one by one. By the close of the year,
what I don't understand regarding to Sawama Dweji, let NDC candidate was declared. And I'm also quite a recollection or mobile declare another Dompre.
And no Nameka, no. Oh, say returning officer, no. Omuna mo your friend say power. Per the CI 127, they have the legal right to declare a parliamentary election.
Yeah.
And yet, electoral commissioners, no. So, say on December 8th, no, Akotia. Our candidate was declared by the returning officer. As the winner of the place.
Sure.
Then MPP sat down with the electoral commissioner, said, that there was a problem. There was Wulabalu, the way the declaration was made, they wouldn't accept it. Then no free Akotia, no Muba, Tesano police station. I went there and I was drawing daggers with them. Before we could arrive there in the morning, they brought some joker. My friend the joker said, "Oh, see, only a deputy returning officer. No, you need deputy returning officer. Oko KCI 127 nina, there's nothing like deputy returning officer. So Papa B got now also on a deputy returning officer. In the absence of my boss returning officer, I so and so declared MPP candidate no winner. Another declaration. And now these commissioners had the temerity to accept that kind of declaration. Returning officer no dear no almost say then another joker who came and called himself a deputy returning officer on it or declaration declaration no more call say MPP no more dinkuni. Then they sent him to parliament. This is what they did, and we put an injunction on it. These people defied the injunction and forced themselves to be sworn. Now the Papa no hot won't say or a convict.
Yeah,
they've convicted him on this thing, contempt of court. Now they are running helter-skelter, forcing Supreme Court to quash that conviction. We'll make sure that that gentleman is prosecuted. Already he's even prosecuted and convicted. It's like with sentencing. Supreme Court said they should hold on the sentences while they hear from them. Okay. After hearing from them, I know the Supreme Court will push them out. This gentleman should not be allowed to be in Parliament. The same thing as I know Dompre. Any colleagues on Nina. They are sit. The good people of Ghana voted overwhelmingly for NDC because they want peace of mind in Parliament. Some of them voted out. Yeah. Oh, said NPP form no money correct. That's why the other time I was making a proposal. Say, oh, you more tablets, no more fee, no more share. Then
parliamentary
because proceedings, so no more share this online. Because look, this number is so negligible. They are just destructive tendencies in Parliament. No more confusion, be time be a press conference. So even if you sneeze these days, they're going to do press conference. Now your wife had miscarriage. They were going to do press conference. So these people, they are just distracted. Ghanaians saw them and made sure that they voted massively for NDC, so that at least we can get about 200 members of Parliament. But these people, they have used crooked means, any electoral commission in concert, to steal some of the seats. That has brought them to 88. But
munya feedback from the grassroots. It's like grassroots, and information what they buy. As I'm on 10 and 10 times, so they think you've relaxed.
Hey, Minia, you relax. Okay. You relax. Time be you follow. Look, last week, look, I was High Court. I was this thing. Kofridwa about another Dompre. Okay. And it was Supreme Court about Tema Central, Blikumanov. Okay. And Kaikwe Center and it Techmasa. We are following it vigorously. Okay. Look, the wheel of justice grinds slowly. Okay. But it will definitely come to an end. Judge question. As enough. Yeah. You saw how they hunted him out of Parliament, and we had to go for another by-election in order to these people. We will follow them. We will follow them to the letter, to the point where they will be taken out of Parliament. Illegal. We are using the legal process. We don't want to use any butu-butu. Okay. We want to follow the law. Okay. I would say Ghana, we have a constitution and we are following it. Okay. We respect the judiciary and we'll make sure that they will do justice to this matter. Okay. Because the good people of Ablekumanov, Omotuma Arabna, they voted for the lady. Why is the EC is bent on giving this seat to an illegal MPP candidate? It's an illegality. Because Omontumano, why would they go and bring their own fake pink sheets, forcing the EC? And this EC, some of them, very crooked in nature, were accepting it. And that's what one will say, returning officer. No? Yeah. That day one will say, "Or see on your Juma debut."
I was so on your Juma.
On your Juma. Because one will say, document no demand, any of the documents, and yet the superiors no more forcing to say, "Oh, accepted documents." No. Why? What was their interest in that? And no, like I say, no, we will say because and people are saying that NDC that we are greedy. We have our 183 seats. Why are we chasing for this one? I said Ghanaians, they didn't vote for numbers. They voted for people, personality. What do I say? And numbers no more vote. Almost voting personalities. So Mutumawa, who no call parliament. So Muntuma me, I mean to me call parliament. But because your party has plenty numbers, so you should relax and let me go and represent the people. Does it make sense? I don't know. So that kind of logic, I ask myself. Sometimes I heard it from one education is or governance thing. Let me tell you, let me show you. Let me say, yes, that's why we have problem in Ghana. If people like this, high-level educated person will think this way, does it make sense? That in this, what is your problem? You have gotten this number 183. Why are you still chasing it? See, that's why we have unemployed graduates a lot in this country, because you go and train people with this kind of language. Oh, say, they can't think for themselves very well, because that mentality you have put in their head as a government expert, they will come and be thinking just like the way you are thinking. And no, you see, we don't have that critical thinking. The people went to polls to vote for a particular candidate. We presented a candidate, and they voted for that candidate. This is the person we want to represent us as a constituent. Then some crooked officers want to tilt the thing and change it to another person, an illegal person. See them, they're those noise makers in parliament. I don't know the illegal guys. I don't know we are speaking loud. They've all stolen the seats and they are sitting there and making loud noise in parliament. Oh, they are saying. Now that is what the problem we are having now, and we'll come after them. We are going to follow them through and make sure we use the legal process. Then the rightful elected candidate will go and represent them.
Okay. All right, so Sonia, Dr. Rashid Tanko, one my update on the Blukubanov and after elections, the misunderstanding and answer near my one who illegalities, any who updates, you know, be sure say your mind can rest at least. You know, say the NDC is not sleeping. And that's all more relaxed. So, dog answer never call national issues, you know, so no be baby say Ghana Investment Fund. For electronic communication. As a CEO, mandate then what's a way?
Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication is under this Act 775, Electronic Communication Act, by 2008, and it was implemented in 2009. I will say, Act no, Yejuma is about two major things. Underserved and unserved community. Who say underserved rural areas no bebre. Who say uko ho phones no laptops wontumi nye calls bi yawo. Network na ni ho. Uko ho ne kra wontumi like we journalists uko ho wontumi ye hwi. Wontumi nye call. So those areas no you describe them as unserved communities in terms of network penetration. Okay. What do I say? So they don't have basic access to telephony and then internet facility. A whole areas no. Okay. Ebisu woma your friend no underserved. Just say in Accra. Who say boom domiabra around those areas. Who said who drew her na network ni ho. But who around Masama and holding in our say network. So I mean those areas are unserved communities. What do I say? Although it underserved, your friends are underserved because the community around there, part of it there is service, another part of it there's no service. Oh, okay. What do I say? So we say underserved. Okay. What do I say? But the first one is what? Unserved. And the whole community in network. Okay. So those two areas, it is a mandate of GFEC to go and provide network mammon. Oh, okay. What does it? Okay. Oh, say. So, Papa, that is our mandate. Say, young call common network, both voice and data. Okay. What do I say? So we give them basic access to internet connectivity. Okay. Any rural telephony. Okay. Because when say a big telecoms, those areas they consider them as not economic viable. What I say? Wontumi ko see omu big towers because we say community 500 and 200 nipa na me. So we ko see tower kase ba they managing it and all this kind of thing. They won't get the returns is too small. So omu ko that is why most of the community network now. So government set up GFEC to take care of these areas. Your friend on rural telephony.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, never call. Now identify a community with money network. Now your infrastructure network infrastructure. Then telecoms, MTN, any telecell, any IT. Then they will leverage on it to provide network for the people, so that people can make calls.
Oh, okay. So enya sebia was MTN ko sit tower or enya sebia telecell be sit tower. But na modem
equipment echo.
Then they will come and rely on the equipment to provide the network. Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So Nina say we have a close collaboration with the telecoms. Okay. So we say board of trustees in the crowd, they sit on it telecoms no, because omu no mama esika na ekoye ejuma no. Okay. Omu no mama percentage of their investment na eko running, and then describe a fund no. So your money is a fund management. Oh, okay. So you manage fund na ekoye rural telephony, all these communities. So once a community be no money network no, it is the duty of this in GFEC. First one. Okay. Second one is where a friend say cyber labs. Who says these communities na make underserved and unserved communities in rural areas say one says secondary schools women JSS computer labs na GFEC na lab mamu. So was secondary school on any computer lab. GFEC you say lab computer lab. You be for laptops, any desktops, printers, any scanners. Digital equipment in the Bibri, na school no. Okay, now installing money na. You be fire experts no more coach they will teach them how to use it. For teaching and learning activities. So GFEC so you see baby schools be a call so secondary school na rural areas na no more applier you be call na ekoye you be air condition fans na kama you be sa adi internet and so come. Okay. Apart from the computer and the yes, I have internet and so come just to facilitate teaching and learning. Okay. Then yes, another one your friend will CICs, community ICT centers. Okay. So every district say you best see a dan kasiepa na a equipment, IT equipment, maybe financial honor. Then we send our expert. Then the community will come and be learning IT honor. For community. Okay. So all their IT needs, and say okay, photocopier, okay, printing, okay, say passport. Wontumi you fill room kwakra, ana oka tamale, ana kumasi koye passport. Uko community ICT center, betma processor at the animal. Oh, okay. I say, a whole cry a bit much. Say, I feel with there around this time you cannot plant corn because we say global warming, any this thing, changes in the climate changes in the so we only say this month we used to plant maize, but because of climate change. On our network, if you call ICT center now, you will be software. Maybe I'll make farmers and don't say this month you can't do plant. If you plant, it won't grow well. You are likely to have drought because rains might not come because climate change. Because now there's technology where you can see all this kind of thing. Last year there was huge drought up north, and government had to get food supplement for them. So you make a good use of your ICT centers now. Where is because we would have been educating communities and we'll say this time around don't plant because they will not. It's not going to be rain. You can easily tell today whether they will rain or not through your phone. Also, weather forecast your phones even your watch can even tell you this time. We are now in IT digital world, so we want to leverage on this and the communities a bit more using these ICT tools in every community. Okay. Those ICT centers and they be used for our coders. Don't say 1 million coders. A honor every year. Okay. So every district will have this CIC. And then with all this, not just a dog where you man as so because 1 million coders now president Mahama can a project Cassia. And you're launching it this month. More launching this month. More
spreading communities.
Every district.
Okay.
So there was CIC center. So you better rehabilitate CIC, ICT centers. Then we get state-of-the-art digital equipment.
Okay.
So that it won't look like the 1 million codes is going to be in the regional capital. Yes, sir.
And can
I know every district.
Oh, okay.
I will decentralize
regional center.
And yeah, regional center is going to be district based.
Okay.
So that it's closer to the people. They don't need to travel far.
Okay.
Every district CIC will have this equipment and the trainers will be there. So that you come there, it makes it easy doorstep training.
Okay.
So GFEC in the ESR, and there's our girls in ICT training.
Okay.
It's a big project that we are into because we want to make sure that girls, no more secondary schools, and those who have left secondary school, we train them digital tools. Oh, say marketing be online.
Okay.
Because these days you don't need to walk sometime to your friend said Aboso Kai Ana Makola market Koto Nema. You just sit in the comfort of your room online. Ube hu nema bebre. No but matter. Then they will bring it. Delivery service and then so rural areas most of them they are not aware of this. That's why you go and see our market women and other things. They say they are not getting market. They have gone to harvest their crops from the farms. They are not getting already market. But when we teach them how to use their digital tools that they have in their hand, their mobile phones, so that they can put online. A lot of people want to buy yam. They want to see. They want to know where it is. So we want to teach them. Most of our young ladies of late, they are interested in using TikTok, any Facebook, just to show their face and be dancing around. And because it's a huge platform for market.
Okay.
So we want to teach them this ICT to how to leverage on it to push their businesses agenda forward. So experts no more so we have a lot of activities na GFEC under that place. It's just that unfortunately previous administration they were not, their communication department they are weak, so a lot of people didn't know that when in GFEC na the general public didn't know the kind of services na so instead of them to come I say no na make no do we when government agencies on ICT issues. So it will say agencies be no money laptops or money computers, desktops, or mobile China, you bet my bomb. Even media or applier, you bet my baby bomb, more desktops, any laptops, they train you how to use them and all this kind of thing. We have a satellite hub, a huge satellite hub, so you see, internet activities shouldn't be a problem.
Company be apply for SaaS services now. How is the payment done?
Say where they are government to government, or they say.
Oh, okay.
So say government agencies, any say Minister of Local Government, our district assembly, also no money computers, also more applier. Babe installing more Jessica.
Okay, my private company say.
Private company that said they are understanding. You best sign MOU. They said that Mawa now so to Abang. Then it will go into Abang coffers. And we have that expertise, so you can come, we'll assist you, and then set up your place for you, train you very well how to operate it. Open internet service a bit more because you will have. They don't know that we have. Ghanaians don't even know that there's a huge hub acquired by GFEC, which is sitting at Kofi Annan ICT Center. So we are opening it up for the public to come. Agencies be no more internet problems are. Yes, any agreement. You don't need to have problem with internet service because we have a hub there, and we get 30 megahertz from EMOS internet segment, space segment or demand. We use it to operate about 45 communities across the country. No more, both voice any data. So these things are there, but because communication was a problem. No more.
Because Anyama watching mu ya me and Yamani bebre ni so abie. Because na 1 million coders say na Ghana for adwen say na eno no mo be si dan kese bi won kran na masesa mabunu 1 million akogu mu ana say. But the doctor actually mu am ya say 1 million coders no ebe district centered. Into district bia benya ICT center. Our community ni na betimi access. Oh yara.
Yes. Oh
baby adwen kire wo mo say bia ye be si dan kese bi won kan. Ana say bia kuma se kese pa na ne 1 million.
Yes.
Information communication is very important.
Very important.
Very important. Don't say when you know abandon than the yenti. You nim kram person wo mo kram say or so mo communities and networking ni one of set up. Because so communities never bring internet access.
It does papa. That no call rally campaigns na call Western North. Community bi won kra odu ha. Just say obey call, on be fa call this in some big mountain. And send away your call. So we're completely cut off. Now to me, a big cry around northern region side no. Tie on phones. They put ropes on it and hang it on tree. So because the thing is hanging there, you can't bring it. If you bring a network is off. You say hanging out.
I know the American experience. The vice president campaign time you call no for your D2 weeks or you call a Hamilino.
Network
in Yajuma. For 5 hours drive and I call in that no network.
And it caused a lot of security problems. So
serious.
We are trying to make sure that you see technology be where a lot of our communities will be connected through TV white space technology being able to use TV signals, and we can rely on it to make sure that the communities get internet access and then voice as well. So we'll do it because we are grateful because our president is a communicator. Also, I know a communication minister. So, and he knows the importance of communication, electronic communication, to the growth of the economy. Because if our rural areas are cut off from the digital world, then we are not going to go anywhere. Because we can, and even look, this issue about security. When we are talking of how to keep the country safe in this era of digital world, and most of our communities are cut off from it, then we are not secure in this country. I want to say dissidents and rebels behind mobile areas on our core and then networking. They would of course have work before people get to know that something is happening over there. Because network we are nobody can report. They will even run out before people can run to where there's network to report that something is happening there. But where there is a network, you know these days, even Accra here, if somebody just sneezed, they put it on Facebook. It's already on Facebook.